Hi, this week in our EDU 312 class, we had the assignment of creating a PALS learning module. So I wanted to make a quick video to explain the steps and to navigate you through my website. So as you can see, up along the top are my headers. So I will walk through each of those. These are the home page, and again, this is for the PALS, which is a Peer Assistant Leadership Strategy. So this module outlines the benefits of implementing PALS for third grade. This peer tutoring strategy allows students to work in pairs or in a whole group to provide strength and to strengthen reading skills. So this module provides a step-by-step instruction to help each of the PALS activities. So PALS is just short for Peer Assisted Learning Strategies, and it is an approach to teaching children important reading skills. So it complements existing reading curriculum by providing strategies through peer-mediated instruction, and I will attach some videos to show what that looks like in the classroom. So each of these will have a title. And this is part of a cycle. The first is the challenge, next is initial thought, perspective and resources, wrap up, and then assessment. And those are all listed along the top. So after we finish that, you will then go to challenge. So at this point, many students' oral reading lacks fluency. So as I've been observing in my third grade classroom, I noticed that my students were having trouble with lacking fluency as they were reading. Some were very choppy with many stops and starts, and others were monotonous readers and read with little or no expression, or they were hasty readers who raced through the passage and ignored the phrasing and punctuation. So the behavior that I observed were students who used poor or inappropriate phrasing and or expression. And then my anticipated outcome is students will read with more appropriate phrasing and or expression. So once I finish this video, it will be listed right here in this spot. It will be on YouTube. So at the very end of that at the very end or included is going to be the challenge that I will be facing through this module. At this stage, the learner will write down initial thoughts and answers to questions asked at the end of the challenge. So here are my two challenge questions. How can Ms. Glendon use appropriate phrasing and expression to assist students in reading phrases so they sound natural? And what types of activities can Ms. Glendon use to increase appropriate phrasing and expression? So once you think about these strategies, I would like for you to proceed to the next page, which is titled Perspectives and Resources. So the objectives that I used during this lesson, students completed the entire perspective and resources section and review the accompanying activities. So students were able to read a grade level text with a purpose and understanding, and read orally with accuracy, appropriate rate, and expression. And this is something that I will be continuing to do while I'm in the classroom, but we got a good start. So the standards that were used were RF 3.4, where students read with sufficient accuracy and fluency to support comprehension. So again, here's my challenge question. How can Ms. Glendon use appropriate phrasing and expression to assist students in reading phrases so they sound natural? After you finish this, you will then go to more under fluency, phrasing, and expression, and you will read these top to bottom, or work through these top to bottom. So as I did research into these strategies and used the PALS strategy, I went through and provided some activities to help promote the development of reading skills so students could improve their learning. They used a scripted prompt and a scripted reading passage, and students followed along as I modeled how to phrase an expression. So once those videos get processed, they will be attached here. And we did a reading phrase or a reading passage called Danny and the Dragon, and I read some, then we echo or choral read, and then the students broke off into pairs and read it that way. And then after we finished modeling how to read with expression, students then were introduced to phrase markers. And they had never had a lesson on this yet up to this point in third grade. So I introduced it and then expressed to them, that I just wanted them to try their best so I could understand where their understanding was. So students used phrase markers to display correct phrasing and punctuation by reading along with him or her. So the first thing we did was read, and then I had a picture on a anchor chart that showed them how to correctly use 1/ for a natural breath and 2/ showed a longer pause at the end of the sentence. So that video will be displayed right there. So then after you watch those, we're going to go to wrap up. And at this point, I will show how the students' reading performances and then how their work at the very end was. And as far as corrective feedback, as students were completing this activity with partners, I was walking the room and asking them questions if they didn't seem to be understanding it. And then I will provide some of the students' work here so you can see what it looks like. And then the last part is assessment. And this is where I would like for you to just give me a short feedback. In your opinion, do you feel these activities follow along with the objectives listed? Yes, no, maybe. And if you could write a specific answer, that would be great. And then, how important is teaching appropriate phrasing and expression while reading? Do you feel it's very important to teach phrasing and expression? Important, neutral, somewhat important, or not at all? And then if you would just hit the submit button, I will get your feedback. So if you have any questions, you can go back and look under the perspective and resources in this module, and that will help. So I hope you get an idea of how to use this within a classroom, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.